Well, hello, Rebecca, and hello, anybody else that happens to be watching. Uh, this is kind of a Friday night special that I'm putting on. Excuse me, and the reason is because the pre-trial conference for Cynthia Absug was held on Thursday, and what came out of that particular event was quite surprising. And it appears that this trial is going to take a different course of action than anyone ever expected. Now, part of what happened was, as all of you know, I have been waiting to find out if there was going to be extended coverage allowed from the courtroom. Hello, King. That is, would I be allowed to video feed the live stream directly from inside the court? Saving that, would I be able to take still pictures? Saving that, would I be able to text live from the courtroom? And the answer to all three is no. And as a matter of fact, this goes across the board. No press outlet at all is going to be allowed to have extended coverage. And the reason is because of private medical information that is supposed to be entered into the court by the defense and the prosecution. And we all know the backstory, but unfortunately, now that I am actively reporting on the case, I can't get into it other than private information concerning the children cannot be disclosed to the public during the trial. So what I'll be doing instead is I discussed it with the court administration. I will still be in the courtroom. But what I will do is I will take notes, and then either during a recess, during the lunch break, or after the trial is over, I will do uh, a summary of what happened each day the case goes forth, minus any confidential information that comes out. Hello, Kim. Welcome to this live stream. Now, excuse me. Now, something else came up, and I'm going to go through these. I basically have notes of the proceedings, and I'm going to start first with this one. There will be no mention of the word Munchausen by proxy, even though that's what the prosecution's experts all found to exist, R.E. Cindy. Instead, the experts will only testify that Cindy committed the crime of medical abuse of a child by fabricating medical issues, intentionally causing him to be sick and to undergo medical treatments that weren't necessary. Experts can't diagnose Cindy with that mental disorder if they haven't evaluated her. And so that ruling is correct. They had not evaluated Cindy, so they were not able to make that determination positively. And so what this is saying is that one of the two charges against Cynthia is going to be medical child abuse, MCA as it's known. The counselors who interviewed Hannah found that she had also been a victim of child abuse in the past by Cindy. Now, this is a new revelation. Any testimony, however, about Cindy abusing Hannah will not be admissible in trial since she is not charged in this case with abusing Hannah. The experts will be told not to mention it. Now, the children will be testifying. At the hearing, the defense mentioned something about there being no issues with child hearsay in this case. That could mean that they've all agreed not to bring in the kids to testify, rather to use Hannah's counselor's testimony and her interview with police to prove the crime of attempted kidnapping. Further, there's no reason to have her son testify in a medical abuse trial. That crime is established without child testimony, as it can be established with medical records, medical experts, other witnesses, including the father's family's testimony. The foster mother is a registered nurse. Plus, he's young and can't understand what the mom was doing to him. Now, medical child abuse. If no serious injury results, child abuse is a misdemeanor carrying up to 18 months in jail and or $1,000 in fine. Otherwise, child abuse is a felony carrying 2 to 16 years in prison and or $2,000 to $750,000 in fines. Now, this is the part that's surprising. QAnon, Field McConnell, Tim Homseth, and the rest will not be entered in the trial. It's considered hearsay. It's considered irrelevant and immaterial, so they will not be mentioned in the trial unless the defense brings them up. So this is where it's kind of an iffy situation. The prosecution's not going to bring them up. But if the defense brings them up, then this opens all that up. So that means that we're not going to find out about how she got the gun. We're not going to find out about all these travels she did throughout the United States. We're not going to find out about any of this. And this also means that, at least in this case, the Children's Crusade, the Pentagon Pedophile Task Force, so on and so forth, have basically bit the bullet. They will not have to face any scrutiny in this trial. Now, this does not mean that sometime down the road that this won't be broached upon. This just means in this particular case, they will not face any problems. Now, I'm going to move on to something else. In doing research and trying to figure out why I had so much difficulty, I came across something rather interesting, and that is this case. This is a Munchausen by proxy case. The problem here is the mother killed the daughter, who she claims was terminally ill. Now, I'm going to queue up a video. At least I think. Nope, that's the wrong one. I'm going to get that out of there. Okay, that one. Anyway, this is a case that is just gone through the same process that Cynthia Absug was, almost on the same day, the 22nd of this month. And the court administration kept getting the two cases mixed up. And this is a rather weird case in that this child. Okay, let me see if this is it. Okay, I see what I did wrong here. Okay, I'm going to. This is a 9-minute video, and I'm going to play this, and this is extraordinary when you see the resemblance between these two cases. Now, let me see if it's going to queue up properly. Oops, I didn't want that. Okay. Oh, this didn't work. Hold on, let me take that out of there. Share. Screen. I thought I had this down. Here we go. Okay, for some reason this is not working. I'm not sure why, because when I share the screen, it's supposed to bring the audio in, and it's not bringing it in. Not sure what to do about this. Huh. Well, darn. But anyway, as you can see, this is another case that happened here in Douglas County. Um, so, unfortunately, it's playing through my headphones, but it's not playing into the room. I'm going to have to troubleshoot that. I assumed that when these videos played into the room, that uh, they would, the audio would play in the room, but apparently that doesn't happen. I'm going to have to troubleshoot that. But this is the little girl. This is Olivia Grant. Um, and her mother spent years saying that this child had all kinds of illnesses. She had a GoFundMe. She had all kinds of things. And they made the little girl an honorary cop, and she used to do ride arounds, which is what the video was. And it's, it's crazy to think that here we go again with a case, uh, allegedly of Munchausen's by proxy, and it's this little girl who just wanted to have a little bit of fun, but her mother took advantage of it, and she died. Now, one has to wonder what would have happened if Neely Blanchard had, or not Neely Blanchard, slip of the tongue there. What would have happened if Cynthia Absug had succeeded in removing her son from the foster parents? One of them foster parents was, uh, okay, let me see. Okay, let me try that. I'm gonna take this back to the beginning because this is an interesting. Whoops, no, I don't want that. Okay, let me. I got caught right in the middle because the story's interesting. So okay, let me. Very non-professional live stream I got here. Okay, so we go to share screen. We go to yeah. That's okay. I'm still working on this. Um, La da da da. Okay, let me minimize this. The joys of live streaming. Yeah, I had hoped to get all the situation taken care of. This is brand new software, and I'm just learning it. If I had done this on my other software, um, okay, I got to bring up. Let me see if I've got this in bookmarks. And of course not. Okay, I'm going to have to do it this way. Okay, now. Okay, I gotta wait for this to go through the motions here. Okay, so let me turn that off. Come over here, share. Oh, I see what I did wrong. Okay. All right. Okay. All right, now let's see if we get audio. And I don't understand that. Well, I'm gonna have to figure out a different way to do this. I'll huh. Do. I'm determined to figure out what happened here. Window. See, it takes. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna have to do because I'm not figuring out why this isn't working. But the interesting about this is Douglas County, Colorado, same town as Cynthia Absug. So there's that. You guys can check it out. It's a 9-minute video. Um, but in an interesting bit of a twist, I came across this case. And let me bring this down. This little girl on the left is Gypsy Blanchard. And this case takes a twist that is remarkably like what happened at E-Class. The little girl on the left murdered her mother when she found out that for all her life, uh, she had been the victim of Munchausen's by proxy. Uh, and this is her uh, at, they called it a little princess. Now, what's interesting about this, if you guys, any of you who have the Hulu subscription, they actually made a multi-part series about this movie or this uh, case. The daughter uh, murdered the child or the mother because of the Munchausens. She is now serving 10 years in jail for second-degree manslaughter for murdering her mother. She plotted it with her boyfriend. And so, well, let me try something, Levi. Because maybe this will work. I can always try that. Okay, that's not working. Let's see. Let's go into YouTube. Because, I'm not understanding why StreamYard didn't pick up the audio. The only other... Oh, I know how I can do this. It's going to look weird. Let's try this. Let's see, share. Okay. I'm going to try something. Oh, I went and pulled up. Oop, I really screwed that one up. Get back up there. Okay, what'd I do? Okay. All right. All right, now I figured. Got that out. Got that one out. Huh. Okay, let me... Okay, if anybody hears me, let me know. I'm running into a weird problem here. Okay, yeah, all right, I got audio. I was trying to switch things around and I accidentally knocked my primary window off. I've got... Boy, this has been one of these weird nights. But anyway, basically that's what I wanted to cover, and I want to see. And thank you, Jolly. If I can. Okay, this is copyrighted, so I'm not going to be able to play very much of it. Wisconsin.
Hey, Gypsy, is it Stan? Hi, Gypsy. Let you guys talk.
All right, that's not going to show up too good. And also, normally when it plays audio, it's supposed to. It's supposed to play regardless of that. I'm gonna take that off of there. You can't. Ugh, okay. Anyway, so uh, we have these two cases that um, came out of. Hmm. That notification of what? Oh, another one of those stupid things. Yeah, I'm on a 30-day warning that if I don't settle with them, so they're getting them out there. Uh, I thought that was comical. And I think I've got the record at $1 million. So, but so I'm going to have to figure this out to see uh, where we're going with all this. Because it would have been handy to have some of this in place for the actual trial. I haven't heard anything else. Basically, they sent me a thing saying I got 30 days to settle up with them, or I'm going to get slapped with $1 million. Judgment, and that ain't going to happen because it has to go to trial. They have to notify me where they're at because it's got to be filed in a location somewhere and so forth. And they have not done that. And, so as far as I know, um, I believe it was Divine that got slapped with one of those stupid things. And it actually got put up as a video, which was creative enough. Um, but, I guess as they find out people's emails, they're going to send this stuff out. The only problem is they're not leaving a valid email for anybody to write back to. That's kind of a weird way to file a lawsuit. But, you know, it, Timmy's already done this once. This will have been the second time that Timmy has sued me. And he used the same lawyer that sued the fake cow on the internet. And they're going at it over on their other account uh, with the same stuff. Um, Cynthia Absug, CPS kidnapping case. Mommy, my sphincter hurts. Sergeant report. Um, okay. Now they got the slide going again. This is going to be another one of these long ones, I guess. I have a feeling that's probably one of Field's. See what they're doing here. Okay, they're accusing us of going to tamper with the trial, which is stupid. There's no way I'm going to risk a contempt citation. And whoever the hell this Megan Fox is. So, so that's a nothing burger again. But what they're doing is they're making money off of these kids. And, it's just, but it looks like, unfortunately, from what I read from the court today or yesterday, is that they are not going to suffer any consequences coming out of this trial next week. That Cynthia Absug is going to take the fall. Now, analyzing it, it would appear that Cynthia may not get conspiracy to commit kidnapping. It's a relatively weak case from what I've been told. Instead, what will probably happen is she's going to get hit with the medical child abuse. And, that's where that'll go. So there's not really going to be any consequences for the High Command Children's Crusade PPTF crowd. They get to go on their merry way, keep doing their thing, and Cynthia Absug is the one that may wind up suffering for it. If not with a guilty verdict in court, the hearings in September is going to determine whether or not she's going to be able to keep her son, and that is not likely. So they basically have sealed the fate for Cynthia Absug by involving her in this crazy plot. Well, firemen, apparently they're not going to call them. They basically came out in court that the QAnons were not going to be mentioned because it was not enough. Now I gotta look at my notes here. I didn't, for whatever reason, I didn't bring that slide up. Oh no, it's not going to be there. Well, maybe it will be. Yeah. And this is what came out in court yesterday. There will be no testimony or mention of QAnon other than Hannah's, the daughter, testimony and interviews mentioning her mom associating with QAnon folks in prep for the attempted kidnapping. QAnon as an ideology is irrelevant in this trial, other than what Hannah said during the interviews and to her counselor. So there is going to be limited mention of the QAnon, but whether it's going to rise to there being any ramifications to the parties that helped her with this mess is in doubt at this point. But the only thing we can do is go through the trial and see what becomes of it. I have talked to NCIS and I have also talked to the MPs at Fort Campbell. There was no information given to them. None. Zero. Nada. And they're looking into it, but they look at it this way. It's all a bunch of QAnons. They think it's a joke, or they are a joke. And nobody talked to the people that mattered at Fort Campbell. You know, they're going to get on there and say, oh, yes, we did. Oh, yes, we did. No, you did not, because the provost marshal has said so much. So, yeah, it's going to be something that I'm not optimistic about. I don't think she's going to get more than a misdemeanor. The end result, though, is she is going to lose custody of her son. That's a given, because they have evidence of medical child abuse, and even if it doesn't go through the criminal court system and through the civil system, they have a preponderance of evidence that she is guilty of MCA, and this would take the child away from her. Lee, I just know from talking to the FBI in Minnesota when I was up there that there is things being done. And so I don't know what's going to happen with this. I'm just going to follow the case day by day. I'll report things as they happen, and we'll see where we go. But, right now, because of all the medical information that's in this trial, I'm going to be limited, as will the other press, as to what we can cover and what may or may not come out. And if they're not going to mention QAnon other than the daughter's testimony, they're going to have a tough time trying to convince the jury of a kidnapping attempt. So right now, all we can do is come Monday, see what happens in court. Firemen, they could arrange that. This is an attempted kidnapping, and other situations, if they felt Field was relevant to the trial, he would be there. They just slap him in the back of a van, drive him over to Colorado. He does his thing for however long he's going to be there, and then they drive him back. And it's not, they drove him to Florida. They could certainly drive him to Colorado. But at this late date, it'd be they'd have to fly him now because we're only a couple days out. We're 4 days until the trial. They could get him out here in the middle of the week. But the problem is all the discovery and everybody's agreed to who's who. I'm going to try and get the witness list Monday. Trying to get stuff out of this court has been like pulling teeth. And it hasn't been an easy thing. It's a sealed case. And the reason it's sealed is because of the children. And so because of that, we're in this situation. Well, my original intent when I went up there, Laurie, was to stream the case. But because of the medical information that's going to be presented in court about the children, I'm not able to do that. The court has ruled that the press is not to mention anything about the specifics of the child's condition. There's going to be a lot of specifics that we have not heard about exactly what the child had, and that cannot be made public. It's a privacy issue. It falls under HIPAA, so on and so forth. The thing here with Fireman Jet, I don't think this is a plea bargain. I don't think she pled out. What I think has happened is that they've ruled on what can be admitted as evidence and what cannot. And they've also made it clear that the children's medical records have to be kept private. And that's why they have done what they did. Yeah, I will be at the courthouse prior to the trial. It's all going to depend on my transportation. I'm arriving in Denver, Colorado at midnight, and getting from Denver to Castle Rock after midnight is going to be something of a chore. Castle Rock has a very poor municipal transportation system. I'm going to have to shell out quite a bit of money for an Uber in order to get down there because I got another matter I have to take here in Orlando that requires that I be by a telephone at 8:30 Monday morning Eastern time. And so I'm going to be on the phone talking to who I have to talk to here in Orlando while I'm in Colorado. And then at 9:30 in the morning Denver time, or 7:30 in the morning Denver time, which is 9:30 in the morning Eastern, I will be at the courthouse. And I will go through the logistics of how I'm going to handle being in court, when I'm going to go in and sit down, so on and so forth. I am going to try and do a stand-up before trial. I'm going to do a stand-up either during recess or during the breaks to try and give an outline of what is going on that particular day and all subsequent days after that. It is likely that jury selection may take at least half the day, if not all of it. And what I'm going to be curious to find out is what questions they are going to ask the jurors. Are they going to ask them if they've ever heard of QAnon? Are they going to ask anybody if they've ever heard of anybody that had Munchausen's and all this other stuff? So it's going to be what the judge directs the individual counsels be allowed to ask the jury. There's going to be the usual, can you set aside any personal bias and all that? So what this is going to be is this is going to be going through the process of the trial as much as it is to determine whether or not she is going to be prosecuted for these two charges. Right here. Now, because what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring up StreamYard. Uh, it's the time is kind of loosey. It'll be right around 9:30 in the morning Eastern time. It'll be a brief. Hey, I'm here. This is what's going to happen. Then I'm going to go in. It'll be about 10 or 15 minutes long. I'm going to shut down. I'm going to go in the courtroom. I'm going to talk to court administration to see exactly what the procedure is. I may come back out um, and talk to everybody, and then I'm going to go and observe the trial. If there is a recess, I will come outside and I will do a live shot outside, and then I will go back in and I will um, continue to cover the case. And it'll be this way for every day. Now, after the trial, when I get back to the hotel and I get settled, I will go on the air and we will live stream in the evening, probably, I would say about either 9, 10 o'clock Eastern, because the time zone is going to be, the trial will probably recess each day around 5 o'clock in the afternoon. That's 7 o'clock. I got to have enough time to get back to the hotel and get set up. And so it'll be between 9 and 10 o'clock at night. Monday, I will start doing the daily live streams. All right. Okay. I was reading. Thank you, Laurie, for the promotion. I appreciate it. Everybody, please like, subscribe, share. In this way, this should be interesting on both sides of the CPS question. There are those out there that support Cynthia Absug, and there's those out there who are judgmental of what she did. That say, no, you should not have done that. And so there's a back and forth. Now, I'm going back through, there was one thing that came out. If I can find the name here. Okay, because someone did flip, and I'm trying to figure out where I put it in here. And the name has been mentioned before. Dean or something like that. Where is that name? Oh, boy. Hmm. All right, I don't know where the name went, but somebody that was associated with this little escapade did flip, and I just can't remember the name. I did this fast, and I can't. Okay, I found it. Dana Smith flipped, but apparently she was not enough since she was only one of the minor players. So they basically just went with charging. Um, well, I've got Dana Smith, Dana Smith. Okay, I'll go ahead and do that. It's actually my email address. They when you sign up for PayPal, they use your email address. Well, that's all right, Martha. You know, your life is more important, so you just concentrate on trying to get your home equity in done. Uh, from apparently she had something to do with the money, but uh, it's considered, from what I've been able to determine, she's considered a minor player, and so she will not be coming into the trial as being mentioned in all this. But she did turn state's evidence, so that means that something may happen down the road, but it's not going to happen in this particular um, trials. Okay, Miko Hayes got one of these stupid things. Um, and the letter, and again, this is rather interesting. Now, the email address that they are using to send these uh, lawsuits out is not a valid address. But it's the cease and desist order is to inform that your harassing and defamatory actions against Timothy and Randy Seth has become unbearable. Such antisocial behavior is completely unacceptable and will not be tolerated in any way, shape, or form. This letter is to demand that your harassment and intimidation must cease and desist immediately. Should you continue to pursue these activities in violation of the cease and desist order, we will not hesitate to pursue further legal action against you, including but not limited to civil action and or criminal complaints. Timothy and Randy Holmseth demand that you immediately, one, cease and desist your defamatory, false, light, and torturous interference, unfair statements, and live stream where you defame Timothy and Randy Holmseth. Two, provide confirmation of your compliance with this demand. And three, retract and correct publicly on every social media outlet you operate. Go live on YouTube and apologize and make it clear that your conduct and statements about Timothy and Randy Holmseth are false and misleading statements. You have 10 days to comply with these demands. Timothy Holmseth and Randy Holmseth have worked diligently to be credible and respected people in the journalism and real estate professions. This second one is almost verbatim what they sent to me the first time. No attorney listed. This is a email that was sent. And he replied, "Go fuck yourselves, you scum, fuck, shit, rats." So I guess that's a little bit more creative than "Bring It On." But, and this was sent on the 30th, with another one that was sent prior to that on the 26th. So they're running around doing this weird cease and desist order and intent to sue business. Uh, yeah, are these people that stupid? And no, there's no letterhead. It's just, uh, you know, it's coming from his Proton Mail account, which, uh, I don't know. If anything, it's entertainment. They're not going to be able to do anything. They have to serve a summons. They have to tell you where they're suing from. And they're doing none of that. This is just bullshit. And I guess Miko got himself in Facebook jail, so he's not this was forwarded by somebody else. It showed up on my Twitter feed. Let's see, who put this out? Robert Beatty, Kent Hovland's worst nightmare, put this out because we follow each other. Well, it would be considered bigamy if they actually got married. But if they just decided, hey, just use my last name and we'll do it, we're committed to each other. Maybe they did a commitment ceremony in their living room or something. But, they can't sue under the name Randy Holmseth unless she got legally divorced and then married. You got to produce a marriage license and all this. Yeah, this is ridiculous. But this is the nature. I mean, the guy sued the weatherman. I mean, who sues the weatherman? And this is because he got fired because it was the world's smelliest janitor, allegedly. And he sued the National Weather Service. He sued the city of East Grand Forks. He sued the police department. He sued all kinds of people. He was throwing lawsuits around like spitballs. Jeez. Yeah, he sued the National Weather Service for violation of his civil rights. And the thing about this is the National Weather Service has nothing to do with whether or not he gets hired unless he does something on the job against the Weather Service. Tim Holmseth worked for a temp agency that had a contract with the local branch of the National Weather Service. And he got fired because he would not take a bath, number one. And number two, people were getting fed up because he wouldn't shut up about his conspiracy theories. And this is over a decade ago. This is before he even wrote about Kaylee Anthony. He's just going on and on and on about these weird theories. And people said, shut the hell up and mop the damn floor. And so they fired him. And the thing about a temp agency is that's what it means. It means temporary labor. You're not guaranteed you're going to be there for the rest of your life. They're going to use you. And if they don't need you anymore, your ass is out the door. There's, nothing you can do about it. They'll put you on another assignment or you're out. It's not a secure way to make a living. And apparently, I'm curious about something, but why someone would even sue the Weather Service? I mean, what do they got to do with everything? And he bragged about, oh, I got security clearance from the weather service. Well, I checked that one out, and what it is, it's the lowest level of security that you can get. They want to make sure that the guy isn't going to steal the computers or something. And why he managed to get the job, because he's got grand theft on his record, but whatever reason, he got in the door. Okay, Minnesota is not a right to work state. It's so I'm not sure. All right to work is the you have a right to own, to join a union or something like that. I don't know, but it's not a right to work state, so I don't know. But the problem is that if you work for a temporary agency and you get fired, you have no recourse, no legal recourse, unless you're fired for uh, race, creed, that stuff. And Tim Holmseth is white. As far as we know, he's straight. And it had nothing to do with religion. He was just going on about nonsense. And so they said, look, shut up and take a bath or get out. He wouldn't shut up, wouldn't take a bath, so he got out. So that's that. This actually would have been good material for the other channel, but I'm going to start that up back when I get back from this little trip. Well, good night, everybody that is leaving. Glad you hung around for as long as you did. I think I'm going to go ahead and shut down myself. I've got to get things ready for the trip. Depending on my schedule tomorrow, I may or may not be on the air. I will make an announcement like I always do if I'm going to be on the air. Now, what I do plan on doing is I will be live streaming while I'm on the way to the airport and in the airport itself. So it'll be one of these things where I get on the air, get off the air, get on the air, get off the air. So that so it's going to be a little bit similar to what I did last time when I went up to do the Chaos Project. Yeah, fireman, I figured I will be doing the other channel more often when I get back from the trial. Because as a matter of fact, this talking about these retards tonight would have been a good place over on the other channel. But I'll be getting into that starting next week or the week after next. Concentrate on the trial, and then we go on from there. And so again, I appreciate everybody coming in. We managed to get through the night without being blasted by trolls, thank God. And I will see if I'm going to have time to come on tomorrow night. And I will live stream on the way to the airport and at the airport Sunday. And I will probably get on the air a little bit when I arrive in Colorado just to say hi. And it'll be sometimes on YouTube. I will live tweet every once in a while, brief videos as I can do them. And so this is going to be one of these things where it's going to be improvised and on the fly. And so stay tuned. It's going to be rather interesting. Appreciate y'all checking in. Y'all have a good weekend. And we'll see you Sunday. This is William K. Murtaugh, Mert Witness 1. Please like, subscribe, share, and have a good one.